So first up tonight, we got a little Biden's overseas first trip. Now, there's two takeaways that I'm going to get out of this because I could care less about Joe going overseas because Joe going overseas means absolutely nothing. It's the same old BS we've dealt with for the last 30 years, however many years, and it's just what it is. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into this. Make sure volumes are all good. I'm going to keep my eye on the chat, make sure we don't have any issues. All right, here we go.
Rachel, what's on Biden's agenda there, and what is he trying to accomplish?
Well, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says this is a moment that President Biden has been waiting for and preparing for nearly 50 years, that he knows a lot.
Did you guys catch that? Did you guys catch that?
Well, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says this is a moment that President Biden has been waiting for and preparing for nearly 50 years, that she knows that he...
That who knows? That who knows? That she knows? Man, even the media ain't hiding that stuff. He's been preparing for it for 50 years, and she knows. I mean, he knows. Yeah, okay, let's keep playing. I got one more point to make on this video before I'm done with these hacks.
He knows a lot of these leaders personally, that he's ready for this moment. And also, make no mistake about it, this is going to be a very clear break from former President Donald Trump and his America First policies.
A clear break from former President Donald Trump and his America First policy. They're not even hiding it. Let's keep going.
Biden is going to push this message that America is back. The focus here is on renewing our relationships with our allies.
Okay, so she says right there, the focus is that America's back and we're renewing our relationship with our allies. I want to talk about Joe Biden's policy and why Trump's policy with NATO and the allies was successful for America. It was the best way forward for America, and we're going to take a look specifically at some numbers real quick.
And Biden is going to try and drive that home. He believes that this is a moment where democracy is at stake. He says this is a trip proving that democracy can work, guys.
Okay, so I'm not really sure what she means by democracy can work. I'm not really sure what that has to do with anything. But let's talk about America being back and our allies welcoming this. Of course they're welcoming it. Let's just take a look at this chart real quick. All right, this is NATO defense spending by percentage, and this was in 2015. Okay, now if you look at the numbers here, United States, you could see them up at the top. Let me zoom in a little bit so we could see this. All right. So it says here in 2015, 5 members are expected to meet the alliance goal of spending at least 2% of GDP on defense. And those countries would be Estonia. I wonder what their GDP is. $80, $100. The United Kingdom, Poland, Greece, and of course, the United States, who's spending almost double what the 5th place contender is at 3.62%. Okay, no big deal. Now, this chart looks balanced, right? This chart looks nice. It looks good. Now, this is the NATO target, 2%, and it looks great. And you would think, looking at this, you would think, okay, America first, okay, it's fine. We're a bigger country. We'll carry a little bit more weight than the others. No big deal, no big deal. But now let's go ahead and look at, this is actually an article from Zero Hedge. All right. Now, I Googled this. All right. Because I've seen the chart before and I wanted to get the specific chart. So I Googled it and this popped up. And when I clicked on it, the link was dead. So I copied the link. I went in the Wayback Machine like I always do. I put it in the Wayback Machine and went all the way back to, I think, 2019, January or February of 2019. And I found the article, as it was originally written, says Trump scores a major victory as, quote, delinquent NATO members boost contributions by $100 billion. That sounds like a good thing, right? Anytime NATO is carrying their fair share, which is all the president wanted, that's all Trump ever wanted, was NATO to carry their fair share. All right. So here we got NATO states have agreed to increase their defense spending by $100 billion over 2 years after President Trump went on a fiery tirade last July, calling on, quote, delinquent countries to boost their contributions by 2% to 4% of GDP. According to NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, the alliance heard Trump's call, quote, loud and clear, and that member nations are, quote, stepping up. That sounds like a good thing, right? Now, when you look here at this chart, this is not just the percentage of the GDP, but the actual US dollars spent in millions. Okay, so you see these numbers right here. The U.S. at 664,000. The next closest country is the United Kingdom at 10% of what we're spending. 10%. The next after that is France at 43, Germany 40, Italy 21, Canada 15. Now, granted, I understand the United States is far bigger. We have far more people. I get it. But when you look back at this chart and you see that they're only spending 2%, 1.8, you get down here in 0.5, 0.9 from Spain, Hungary. You see all these numbers here. Let's see if we could zoom in on them. You see what percentage they're spending compared to the U.S. I mean, we're spending more than the bottom 4 countries just in percentage, just in the percentage of our GDP. What was this? 0.27, 0.32. So 3.2. So it takes 5 countries from the bottom of this list to equal the percentage of the GDP that the U.S. is putting out there. So then we look at this chart and just, it's an article. I get it. It's from Tyler Durden from Fight Club. I get it. You're like, oh, that's not true. Okay, so let's get rid of that one. Let's go to the actual source, which is Statista.com. And what did Statista have to say about all this? They said, despite all the chaos and controversy, Trump's demands have resulted in more countries sharing NATO's financial burden. In 2017, 5 countries met the goal of spending 2% of their GDP on defense, and that has now increased to 9. So what did Trump do? Trump said, hey, NATO, carry your fair share. Do your part. Do your part. Because we're sick of taking all the burden to defend NATO, to defend the EU and Europe. What do we don't have anything invested in them. We're completely isolated. And it actually mentions that here. It says down here, it says America's allies fear the president's stance could pose a threat to NATO's survival. And in September, then National Security Advisor John Bolton said that Trump could take America, quote, full isolationist if he wins a second term in November. So now they're saying Trump's going to go full isolationist. I don't think that's a terrible idea. I kind of want to be somewhere in the middle. I don't want to be a full isolationist. Definitely need support in Europe. We got to keep we are the world police. We are the world police. Okay, but at the same time, we got to get the same level of commitment out of our allies. And I'll tell you right now, for Biden to go over to Europe and make this pitch that America is back. We're going to go back to spending everything, and you guys can go back to sucking off of our whatever. I wasn't going to go bad with that. But anyways, you can go back to sucking off the tit of America. That's what it is. Let's go back to that. Well, the bottom 5 countries paying as much of a percentage as we are. That's not right. That's not right. We don't need to do that. We don't need Europe. Europe needs us. How's that? Europe needs us. I would not object to getting out of NATO. There, I said it. Let them fend for themselves. If they don't want to commit the same way that the United States is committing to this defense, we're $27 trillion in debt. Why do we need to be propping up a defense to support European Union countries? We can take care of ourselves over here. The Iron Dome, all that stuff. Why are we taking such a burden? And now we've got Joe over there getting rid of this America First policy by their own admission. Hey guys, you just saw a clip from my live stream from June 9th, 2021. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this channel, please. I appreciate it. Also, be sure to check me out on cancon.locals.com for exclusive content, as well as a kind of a compact group over there. Check that out. Also, follow me on Twitter, at Cannabis Conserve, stop at the V, and on Telegram, at CanCon, CANNCON. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Stay frosty. God bless each and every one of you. God bless America. Make the fortune cookie country pay for this.